in the opulent lobby of the Grand Mirage Hotel in downtown Chicago, where crystal chandeliers dripped like frozen waterfalls and guests in tailored suits sipped vintage champagne. A disheveled man in a frayed janitor's uniform was unceremoniously dragged out by security, his pleas for a simple mop ignored amid the snickers of the staff. Just 20 minutes later, the same door swung open again, but this time, the man stepped through in a bespoke Armani suit, flanked by lawyers in a steely resolve, his voice booming with authority. "I'm Victor Langston, owner of this chain, and every one of you who just threw me out is fired, effective immediately." Victor Langston had inherited the Mirage Hotel Group from his father, a self-made real estate tycoon who turned dusty motels into gleaming empires across the Midwest. At 42, Victor oversaw 15 properties, each a testament to luxury: marble-floored lobbies, rooftop spas with skyline views, and suites that charged 5 figures a night. But numbers on spreadsheets told only half the story. Guest complaints had spiked, 20% up in the last quarter, citing everything from surly front desk clerks to rooms that arrived with mystery stains. Victor's boardroom advisors pushed for consultants and audits, but he wanted raw truth. He'd heard of executives going undercover in factories and fast food joints, blending in to unearth the grit. Why not a hotel? Disguised as a temp worker, he could walk the floors, hear the unfiltered gripes, and fix what metrics missed. The plan took shape over a late-night scotch in his corner office overlooking Lake Michigan. Victor's chief of operations, Elena Vasquez, a sharp-eyed veteran with 20 years in hospitality, coordinated the details. She booked him into the Grand Mirage under the alias Tom Riley, a down-on-his-luck handyman from Gary, Indiana. His cover: laid off from a shuttered mill, scraping by on odd jobs. Elena arranged forged papers, a beat-up duffel, and a wardrobe of stained tees, and work boots bought from a thrift store. 2 days max, she advised, her tone all business. In and out, no heroics. Victor arrived at the employee entrance that drizzly Tuesday morning in October, the air thick with the scent of rain-soaked asphalt and exhaust from delivery trucks. He signed in at the HR kiosk, where a hairy coordinator named Sheila glanced up from her screen. "Riley, you're on maintenance rotation. Floors, trash, whatever the shift leads say. Pays $12 an hour. Cash at end of week. Don't touch guest areas without a badge." He nodded, keeping his eyes down, the weight of his Rolex swapped for a cheap Timex hidden under his sleeve. The locker room buzzed with the morning crew. Porters hauling linens, maids comparing notes on VIP suites, a dishwasher scrubbing pots with rhythmic clangs. Victor changed into a gray jumpsuit, the fabric stiff and smelling faintly of bleach, and clipped on his temp badge. It felt absurd, him who dined with senators, now blending into hum of fluorescent lights and vending machine hums. His first assignment came from shift supervisor Marcus Hale, a broad-shouldered man in his 30s, with a clipboard and a perpetual scowl. Marcus ran the day crew like a drill sergeant, barking orders that echoed off the tile walls. "New guy? Good. Start with the East Wing. Lobby's got coffee spills from that influencer brunch. Mop it, don't streak. Then hit the service elevator. It's gummed up again." Victor grabbed the mop bucket, the handle slick with residue from countless hands before his. He wheeled it out to the lobby, where the space opened into grandeur, vaulted ceilings, a grand piano silent in the corner, guests murmuring over newspapers and lattes. He kept his head low, dipping the mop into soapy water, the slosh masking his racing thoughts. This was the pulse he needed, the real Mirage, not the polished ads. As he worked, snippets of conversation floated over. A concierge, young and slick-haired, named Derek, leaned against the desk, phone to his ear. "Yeah, comp the suite. Tell her the technical glitch was our fault. Boss hates refunds, but better than a bad review." Derek hung up, spotting Victor. "Hey, temp, watch the edges." Last guy tracked grime onto the Persian rug. "Cost us $1,000 to clean." Victor grunted in response, swabbing harder. Derek rolled his eyes and turned to a colleague, Lila, the front desk lead with perfectly coiffed hair and a nameplate that gleamed. "These temps are useless. Remember that one who flooded the bridal suite?" Victor Langston nearly had a stroke over the comp. Lila laughed, a tinkling sound that didn't reach her eyes. Victor's always jetting off to Dubai or wherever. Lets Marcus run the show, then wonders why occupancy dips. If he showed up, I'd tell him to his face. Micromanage from afar if you want mediocrity. Victor bit back a smile, the mop gliding over a fresh spill from an overturned espresso. Mediocrity, that hit close. He'd signed off on budgets that skimped on staff training to boost margins, assuming the brand shine would carry it. But here, scrubbing alongside the invisible, he saw the cracks. A bellhop rushing past with a luggage cart that nicked a guest's heel. No apology offered. A housekeeper, Maria, muttering about short-staffed floors as she folded towels in a side alcove. By noon, sweat beaded under his jumpsuit despite the lobby's chill. Marcus reappeared, clipboard in hand. Riley, you're on trash run. Ballroom's got set up for the corporate gala tonight. Haul it out back. Compact it. And hurry, catering's inbound. The ballroom prep was chaos-controlled. Floral teams arranging centerpieces of orchids that cost more than Victor's cover wage for a month. Waitstaff in crisp whites testing glassware. Victor hefted black bags heavy with wilted greens and cardboard, the stench sharp in his nostrils. As he dragged them toward the loading dock, he overheard the executive chef, Raul, tearing into a line cook. Idiot. That's not seared. It's charred. Do it again or you're out. Langston's board dines here. One slip, and we're all sunk. Victor paused in the doorway, feigning a knot in the bag. Raul paced, his white stained with sauce. Whole place is a joke. Turnovers through the roof because pays, crap, and hours are hell. Victor sits in his tower, counting cash while we bleed. The words landed like punches. Victor had approved those cuts 2 years back, post-recession, to keep shareholders happy. Now they festered. He nodded to Raul as he passed, the chef barely registering him. Out back, the compactor word to life, grinding waste into oblivion, a metaphor Victor couldn't shake. Afternoon dragged into a blur of fixes, a leaky faucet in the spa that required him to crawl under sinks, tools clanking against porcelain, restocking the minibars and executive suites, where he pocketed a complimentary robes tag to remember the room numbers later. In one, a guest, a silver-haired exec from a Fortune 500, snapped at him for the noise. Can't you people be quiet? Some of us work remotely. Sorry, sir, Victor mumbled, the deference burning his throat. The man waved him off, already typing furiously on a laptop that cost more than a year's salary for the average staffer. By late afternoon, fatigue set in, his shoulders aching from the unaccustomed labor. Marcus cornered him near the service elevator. Riley, gala's in 2 hours. Help with the setup, move those chairs in the mezzanine. And don't slack, Lila's on my ass about timelines. The mezzanine overlooked the lobby, a balcony of velvet ropes and low tables for pre-dinner cocktails. Victor hauled folding chairs, stacking them with grunts that drew glances from passing staff. Lila appeared at the railing, directing a bartender. Double the champagne flutes. Last event ran dry, and Victor hates bad press. She turned, spotting Victor mid-lift. You, temp, those chairs better be symmetric or it'll look tacky. He adjusted one, wiping sweat from his brow. Lila descended the stairs, heels clicking. What's your deal? You move like you got all day. This is a union gig. Earn your keep. Just trying to do it right, Victor replied, voice steady under the alias. She scoffed, flipping her hair. Right? Half this crew couldn't spell it. Derek Short's guess on upgrades for tips. Maria skimps on turn-down service to hit quota. If Langston cared, he'd fire the lot and start over. Her venom surprised him. Not the critique, but the casual cruelty. Lila had been with Mirage for 8 years, risen from reservations to front desk manager on charm and connections. Victor had signed her last promotion, blind to the rot. As the sun dipped, casting long shadows through the atrium glass, the gala setup peaked. Victor was assigned to valet entrance, directing overflow parking for the arriving limos. Guests streamed in, suits and gowns, laughter echoing off marble. One woman in emerald silk complained to Derek about her reservation mix-up. I booked the penthouse. This is unacceptable. Derek smoothed it over with a smile that didn't touch his eyes. Of course, madam. We'll upgrade you complimentary. He shot Victor a look as the woman flounced off. See that? Another freebie on the house. Temp, grab her bags. Room 1405. Victor complied. Elevator ride silent save for the hum. In the suite, he unpacked with care, hanging a gown that whispered of old money. The woman tipped him a crumpled $5, muttering about service standards slipping. Back downstairs, the lobby thrummed with the elite. Tech CEOs clinking glasses, a senator holding court by the fireplace. Victor circled with a tray of canapes, a last-minute fill-in when a server called out. The weight pulled at his arms, but he balanced it, offering bites of foie gras to indifferent faces. Marcus hovered, stopwatch in. Mind. Faster, Riley. Don't let them wait. It was during this whirl that things unraveled. Victor, tray in hand, spied a spill near the grand staircase, an overturned wine glass, red pooling like blood on the cream carpet. He set the tray on a side table and knelt to blot it with a napkin from his pocket, the stain stubborn against the fibers. That's when Lila descended, eyes blazing. What the hell are you doing? That's a $5,000 rug. Get away from it. You're making it worse. I'm just trying to clean it, Victor said, rising slowly. Clean it? You're a temp, not a pro. Look at you. Sweat everywhere, hands filthy. You'll ruin the whole lobby. Her voice rose, drawing heads. Derek joined, smirking. Yeah, Riley, back off. We'll call the real crew. Guests murmured, a few phones emerging to capture the drama. Victor straightened, the alias straining. It's a simple spill. Let me handle it. Lila's face twisted. Handle it? You're handling nothing. Security. 2 guards materialized, burly ex-cops named Trent and Kyle, badges glinting. Trent grabbed Victor's arm, grip like iron. Buddy, you heard her. Out. We don't need vagrants mucking up the place. I'm not a vagrant, Victor protested, twisting free. This is my job Marcus assigned me. Marcus appeared, arms crossed. Temp's right, but he's out of line. Lila's call. Escort him. The lobby hushed, eyes on the spectacle. Victor's pulse thundered. This was a test, the raw underbelly. But as Trent and Kyle hauled him toward the revolving doors, his duffel slung over Kyle's shoulder, humiliation burned. Let go. I work here. Save it for the street, Kyle grunted, shoving him through the glass. Victor stumbled onto the rain-slicked sidewalk, the door spinning shut behind him. Horns blared from Michigan Avenue traffic. Pedestrians averting eyes from the drenched man in a janitor's jumpsuit. Laughter filtered out from inside, Lila's voice carrying. One less headache. Who hires these clowns? He stood there, rain mingling with sweat, chest heaving. 20 minutes. That's all it took for his empire's facade to eject him like trash. The irony twisted deep. He'd built this, poured millions into its veins, only to be discarded by the very hands he paid. Anger simmered, hot and clarifying. No more shadows. Time to claim what was his. Elena waited in a coffee shop 2 blocks away, monitoring via burner phone's text from insiders. Victor burst in, dripping, and barked. Call the lawyers. And my driver. We're going back. She didn't blink, already dialing. On it. You okay? Fired up, he replied, stripping off the jumpsuit in the restroom, revealing the tailored shirt and slacks underneath, his real armor, stashed in the duffel. By the time the black Escalade pulled up, his team assembled. Elena, 2 corporate attorneys from Kirkland and Ellis, and a PR fixer named Jordan Tate. They rolled up to the Grand Mirage's curb, valets scattering as Victor strode through the doors he'd been tossed from. The lobby had refilled with Galahum. Clinking glasses, jazz from a string quartet. Heads turned as Victor entered. Suit impeccable, expression thunder. Lila was at the desk, charming a guest. Derek hovered nearby. Marcus patrolled the edges. Security, Trent and Kyle, flanked the entrance, eyes widening in recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor announced, voice cutting through the din like a blade. Microphones weren't needed. His presence commanded silence. The quartet faltered to a stop, guests freezing mid-sip. I'm Victor Langston, owner of the Mirage Hotel Group. And every manager, supervisor, and security guard who just threw me out, yes, me in that jumpsuit, is fired effective immediately. Gasps rippled. Lila's face drained of color, her pen clattering to the desk. Mr. Langston? That was a temp, we thought. You thought wrong. He cut in, advancing. Elena flanked him, iPad out with HR files glowing. The attorneys stood ready, contract in hand. For 2 days, I worked your shifts. I mopped your spills, hauled your trash, served your elite while you cut corners and spat venom. Derek, you pocketed upgrade fees. Your logs show a pattern. Lila, your efficiency meant shorting housekeeping on supplies, leading to those 5-star complaints. Marcus, your overtime denials pushed good people out the door. Derek stammered, backing into the desk. Sir, it's not. I can explain. Explain to unemployment, Victor said flatly. Trent and Kyle shifted, hands twitching toward radios. But Jordan stepped forward, voice smooth. Any resistance, and we press charges for assault on the premises. Your NDAs won't save you from felony battery. The guards froze. Guests whispered furiously. Phones out now. Live streaming the reckoning. Victor turned to ballroom archway, where Raul and the kitchen crew peeked out. Chefs, porters, maids, you stay. You're the backbone. But management? Pack your offices. Security, you're done. I'll have real pros here by morning. Lila lunged forward, desperation cracking her poise. Please, Mr. Langston. 8 years. I built this front desk from nothing. Built it on sand, he replied, unyielding. You ejected your boss like garbage. Imagine how you treat the guests who don't tip well. Marcus tried next, clipboard trembling. Victor, sir, this is rash. The gala will proceed without you, Elena interjected, gesturing to the staff. Line cooks, take over service. We'll compensate every guest here with a free night stay. Chaos erupted in measured waves. Fired staff herded to the employee lounge by the attorneys, signing exit papers under fluorescent glare. Lila sobbed into her phone, calling a lawyer who wouldn't answer fast enough. Derek bolted for the back exit, only to find Jordan's team blocking it. Raul, surprisingly, clapped Victor on the shoulder as the kitchen mobilized. Knew something was off about that temp. Welcome back, boss. Victor addressed the remaining employees, voice carrying to the balconies. This isn't punishment, it's reset. Starting tomorrow, raises across the board. 15 an hour minimum, full benefits after 90.